What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's video, and today we've got something really special. We've got a new 2022 Jeep Grand Wagoneer. We're gonna do our normal thing. We're gonna take a quick walk around on this thing, go out and drive it and see how it feels. So let's spin you around, we'll look at this thing and then get it out on the road. So guys, as you can see, we've got a new 2022 Grand Wagoneer. This is a Series 3 edition, so it has all the options, all the coolness. We've got the big 22-inch wheels and kind of all the bronze trim behind the badges. But guys, this is just a really awesome looking vehicle here. And these are the full frame that sit on the Ram half-ton frame. So this is a real body-on-frame SUV like they used to build them, not the unibody stuff that 99.9% of SUVs are now. But just a really cool spec and treatment on this thing. I guess first we'll jump into the back, and you do have the full running boards which come down out of the rocker. So when they're folded up, it just looks like a normal rocker, but you open the door and have the full running board. So here in the back, at least on this Series 3, we've got full heated and cooled second row. You also have a big, huge, massive screen here in the second row of the vehicle for the second row seat heating and cooling and the heated and cooled seats. But just the fit and finish on everything is super nice. Now real quick, jumping into the rear of this thing, you've got the power folding buttons for the second row and third row. You do have a little bit of storage space under this rear piece, and still a decent amount of storage room even with the third row up and in place. Jumping onto the other side, obviously you've got the power fold third row seat switch here, so you can move those, all of your USB like you would want. Also have a big, huge, massive center console even on the second row with even more charging up here. This is a really cool camera system for the rear second and third row seats. Now guys, jumping into the cabin, it is extremely nice, as you would suspect. We've got a big, huge, massive screen for the instrument panel, a big, huge 10-inch screen for the radio, another screen down here for the heating, cooling, massage seats, and then finally, you do have a passenger screen here on the side of the dash. Now, real quick, we are going to jump under the hood and see this thing is 6.4 powered. You've got the same engine as an SRT and kind of a cool little Wagoneer plaque here all over this thing. There's little Easter eggs and different Wagoneer parts and pieces. All right guys, so we're gonna fire this thing up, play with some of the screens, and then we will go take it out on a drive. Now this thing does have the really cool Macintosh sound system that you can see. Of course, the big center instrument panel that you can configure and show different things. You've got night vision camera even, that of course it's in the daytime right now, so you can't really see what's going on, but you've got night vision camera on this Series 3. And then you've got the big 10-inch screen radio with the new Uconnect 5, all of your apps. And this is that rear camera that we were talking about, that you can go through and pick which kid you want to yell at and see on camera. Kind of a cool thing for parents driving their vehicles. They don't have to be looking behind them to yell at their kids. They can just do it by looking forward. You've also kind of got some fun little things. The relax setting. You can have a fireplace on your vehicle, a aurora borealis, an aquarium, of course, because you do need all these things while you are driving. And then guys, we'll jump down to the bottom screen here. We've got front seats, or excuse me, the front heating and air, the different seat settings, massage seats with all of these different settings and the strength of the massage. You can then jump into your rear heating and cooling. There's just a lot of things you can do. Here we've got all of our select train switches, all of our different modes, our air ride suspension settings, 4-low, of course, because it is still a Jeep, and your rotary shifter for that 8-speed. So guys, let's get this thing out on the road, see how it drives. I'm gonna throw you on the passenger window and we will go out and drive this thing. All right guys, so we are getting ready to jump on the road here for the first time. I'm kind of interested to see how this thing feels, being the big 6.4 liter engine that is standard in the SRT powered vehicles. Now, the lower trim levels of the Grand Wagoneer come with the 5.7, the normal Hemi, but the high trim levels, 6.4 liter Hemi. Now this is independent suspension front and rear and is on air ride. So the ride should be really, really smooth, comfortable, what you'd expect from a vehicle in this class. Of course, Jeep has all of the normal driver aids, the lane departure, the adaptive cruise, everything that you would go to expect on a vehicle in this class, in this price range. This Grand Wagoneer, being a Series 3, does come standard with everything almost. There's a few other options that you can add, the rear seat DVDs, but this starts at around $103,000 to $105,000. So everything that's on here, you would obviously expect to be on here. Now, one quick thing that I think is really cool, under your center console, obviously is a big, huge center console area, but there is a little snowflake button and you can turn that into a cooled cooler. It's got a rubber seal on the top so you can actually use it as a cooler. That's really, really cool. Now, getting on the highway here, it feels obviously very adequately powered. It is a big, heavy vehicle, but with that 6.4 liter, it moves really, really well. And with that 8-speed transmission, we all know how well that thing works, shifts when you want it to, super quick. It is just a really, really awesome transmission. And of course, this does have sport mode, rock mode, all your select train modes. So when you do bump it into sport mode, your transmission shifting is going to change. It's going to be even more aggressive. But guys, honestly, this thing is super, super smooth, and it is an outrageously nice place to be in. Obviously, this is targeting those Range Rover, Land Rover, Escalade car line because of how they have this thing appointed inside. You've got the full leather wrap dash, leather door panels, stitching everywhere. It's just a really, really nice place to be. And the massage seats, again, those have been on many vehicles in the past. Ford has had it for a long time. It's nothing new to automotive, but it is the first time for the Jeep Chrysler Dodge lineup. So that's kind of exciting. And it does work really, really well. I could definitely get used to that on a long drive. Now, the steering wheel is kind of an interesting shape. You've only got a 2-spoke design. It is flat bottom. It's a little bit different of a look, but it still feels great in the hand. Nothing out of the ordinary. It just has a different look to it. And I believe this is the first time for a Jeep vehicle that it is a full digital screen. We don't have any analog gauges now, no analog tach or speedometer. It is a full digital screen that currently is showing me everything that I do need to see: fuel, engine temp, RPM, speed, and also a digital speedometer. Now, you do definitely feel this thing's size here out on the road. I'm trying to merge off the highway, and do have a decent amount of traffic and am trying to squeeze this thing in, it definitely does feel like a big full-size vehicle. Now, Jeep hasn't had a huge body on frame Tahoe suburban sized thing in a long time, since the previous Wagoneer, Grand Wagoneer, but now we do, and it does feel really big. But everybody that is used to driving their Tahoe Suburbans, full-size Land Rover, Range Rover, Escalades are going to feel right at home in this thing. And it will be really interesting to see if Jeep does grab some of those Highline vehicle owners from some of those other manufacturers and get them into a Jeep branded vehicle, because this thing obviously can go toe to toe with those big guys out there in the luxury SUV segment. Because with all of the tech and infotainment, it makes you feel like you're in a extremely premium vehicle. Because that's one thing Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge has always done really well, is their infotainment. The technology, everything always is super user-friendly, works really well. You get into some of the German vehicles and the infotainment is super clunky. You need to get to the radio, but you need to hit 5 buttons to get there. It just works really well with this Uconnect system. There's some quick shortcut buttons on the bottom that you can just go right to your home screen, your media, navigation, etc., and then configure everything from there. So it just works really well. Accelerating here onto the highway, yes, it is a big vehicle. It is heavy, it's body on frame, but with that 6.4 liter, it really moves well up to speed. And again, feels very comfortable. It is extremely quiet in here. You hear very little to no road noise. It's just, again, a extremely nice place to spend some time. I could definitely see putting a lot of miles on one of these on a long road trip. Another thing that gives me that premium feel is the fact we've got all of the ambient lighting, all of the wood grain, everything just makes you feel really premium. We do have our seat adjustments here on the door panel. We have adjustable headrests. Again, all of that stuff is very normal for those luxury brands, the German stuff, but this is a first for the Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge lineup, and it looks really nice. None of the buttons are carryover stuff that they've pulled out of a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Everything looks specific and unique to the Grand Wagoneer, so you don't feel like you're in a copycat or parts bin vehicle from another vehicle. So it makes it feel really unique, really premium, and that's what you'd expect with a vehicle with a 6-figure price tag. So guys, of course we've just barely skimmed the surface of all of the features and everything we could look at, but I at least wanted to give you guys a quick walk around and a quick drive like we normally do on this special vehicle. But like I said, we get down to the nitty gritty, we do a quick walk around, we look at the cool things, we get them out on the road, and we figure out how they drive and how they feel. And this thing does both really well. So guys, as always, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time.